a sprint. Yeah, so you got 20 seconds. You got to bust a nut. You know, like you got to fucking go for it.
Performance-enhancing drugs will not be mandatory.
I reckon 10 of our mates could take Anderson Silva.
The story was so big that Anthony Albanese, our Prime Minister, had to weigh in. Did you know about that?
No, what
he
did he
had
have
to
to
weigh
say?
in. He said, look, Reagan is a B girl, and she went over and represented Australia, and she did us proud, and she tried her best, which is the official line.
Well said. Yep.
That's the official line. That has to be the official line.
Yeah.
If he went out and went, Reagan is a national disgrace, if it was up to me, she wouldn't be allowed back in the country. That sort of performance is not acceptable.
She's a national treasure. She's fantastic.
I couldn't agree more.
I reckon she's our Eric the Eel. Do you remember Eric the Eel?
Yes. Are you talking about Eric Musambani?
Yes. I think it was the 2000 Olympics.
It was the 2000 Olympics. Oh, why are they similar?
Well, it's raising questions about whether there should be thresholds for certain events. Like, what kind of milestones and threshold did she pass to get to? You don't want to get on the big stage at the Olympics and kind of be a bit of an embarrassment. Like, I'm saying Eric the Eel was one of the greatest moments in sports history, but he almost had to be saved from the pool by a lifeguard in an Olympic swimming event.
He did struggle towards the end. I don't think the lifeguards were called, but maybe there was some glances.
There was
maybe
some
some
concerns. I reckon they were warming up, mate. If you're allowed to do it, how much testosterone, the God particle of sports, can you take before it gets dangerous?
There are rules, apparently.
Oh, good.
So the Enhanced Games is meant to be the first event of its kind to support performance-enhancing drugs and not follow the rules of the World Doping Association agency. Performance-enhancing drugs will not be mandatory.
So you can be clean, but you'll get judged by the other competitors.
You'll probably get smashed by the other competitors. But
no,
anyway,
they'll point the finger and laugh and be like, mate,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Are
Go
you
to the
better than
actual
us?
Olympics.
You think you're better than us?
Yeah. For insurance reasons, only FDA-approved substances will be allowed.
Oh, okay. Can't use any of the wild Chinese shit they got going on.
I don't know what it has to be FDA approved. So it's got to go through the Food and Drug Administration of America in order to be included.
America-centric, isn't it?
Well,
Safety,
I think that might be where they're planning it, I guess.
I thought it's just you could be any weight because that's like why would you have a limit on that? But maybe it's just for the sport to look good because you don't want like a 500-pound dude just rolling in there like a bowling ball.
That could happen. I guess they put upper limits on it. Maybe you're talking about something like an open weight tournament they might do where it's open weight.
I think they should have weight classes for doping where you can have like 1 milligram of, testosterone per liter. You can have 2 milligrams of test because what you do is you test the athletes and the testing will reveal how much they have.
Who knows how long they've got to knuckle down on all these details.
If you exceed certain thresholds that they have in place, then you're out.
I don't know that. Maybe not. Maybe
they'll have
just
thresholds.
Go slap on the wrist. Get out there. Go on.
Well, that's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. As long as you regulate, everything can be responsible. Do they still do the car jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, car jitsu, phone box fighting. It's all the things still.
So funny.
It's wild.
That's so good. Hey, I was thinking, I've solved a few problems. I've got my problem-solving hat on.
Right.
About this ray gun issue. It wasn't actually just ray gun. You said that you didn't really like the fillers that some of the breakers were using in between their more
I understand
impressive.
They might need a break though from all their spinning on
athletes,
the
head.
head.
The athletes. So that's part of it. I reckon we go for extreme braking. You've got 20 seconds. It's like a T20, right?
Wow.
A test match is
Wow.
there's always
sprint.
a sprint. Yeah. So you got 20 seconds. You got to bust a nut. Like you got to fucking go for it. You get out there and you're not jumping around doing kangaroos or sprinklers.
Someone would come out there and they'd do like all filler stuff and everyone's going, whoa, what are they doing? This is gnarly. No one's ever done this before.
Well, I can't believe she didn't score a point. I mean, you think one of the judges would just felt sorry for him.
Again, we don't know how the sport works, so maybe there's a good reason why she couldn't get a point.
No, give her a point. I don't care what the reasons are.
How do you justify it?
Yeah, she did a head spin, sort of. Like she put her head on the ground. I reckon that when Australia does its Mount Rushmore of Olympic athletes, I reckon we'll have like maybe Ian Thorpe.
Okay.
Betty Cuthbert.
Okay.
Dawn Fraser.
Kathy Freeman, bro. Where's
Bro,
Kathy Freeman?
one gold medal. She's not on there. She's not on
there.
The first Indigenous athlete to, I think, win a medal or at least a gold medal.
She's kind of the icon of our Olympics, though.
No, but you've got
Olympics.
Dawn Fraser, first swimmer to win the same event over 3 consecutive Olympics.
That's like pretty wild. That's 12 years.
12 years. Betty Cuthbert, only athlete to win gold in the 100, 200 and 400 of all time.
She can do it all as long as it's in the water.
No, that's running.
What? Running?
Yeah.
Gold medals.
In 1, 2 and 4. No one's ever done it.
Well, we don't really produce sprinters. Like
this was like 56 Olympics, I think.
92.9 or Triple M or whatever is he's coming down the wing. He's going to have a kick. Harvey Norman. Tippett takes a mark. And Bob Jane's T-Mart. And he has a kick. It's going towards the goal. Don't forget to pick up a fucking Bud Light. It was
yeah, the Super Cheap Auto scoreboard. What's the score on the Super Cheap Auto scoreboard? Well, it's 20 Big Mac sausage rolls in a...
That's how they've been bundling advertising for a while now, where you get the ownership of a scoreboard or something. So we'll throw it up to the Harvey Norman scoreboard. But now that we've become so accustomed to that, they don't even say scoreboard anymore. They just call it the Harvey Norman.
You get the replay and the scoreboard. We should just start mentioning some sponsors we don't have for certain things we do.
It was so wild, man. I couldn't do it. I was so confused. I thought there was a bloke out there called Harvey Norman.
Because, there was a time when no one owned cars, and then, Ford comes out with his T-model Ford and starts just manufacturing these things willy-nilly. And everyone's got one. And now we're at hypercars, right? So once everyone starts getting spaceships, and everyone's just got their Ford, their shitty Ford.
Spaceship.
Yeah, spaceship. Yeah. At some point, there's going to be some Italian that hand makes spaceships, hyper spaceships.
Space yachts. Yeah, space yachts.
And they're going to be sick. They're going to look like the other.
Jeff Bezos' spaceship won't look the same as our spaceship. Our spaceship will be like, have you ever seen The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis when he drives the taxi and it flies?
Yes.
That's what we'll be cruising around in, which it sounds wicked.
It's falling off.
That sounds great. But he'll be on his, I think it's going to be called like a Super Galaxy yacht, and that's just not from Grand Theft Auto 5.
And there'll be no sharp edges. It'll all be like bubbly.
It'll
and
look
the
like
contours,
a sail ship.
Yeah.
It'll look like a big sail
what's
ship.
What's the word? It'll look like voluptuous. It'll sort of look like I was going to say like a woman, but I don't really know how that would just be weird.
Well, isn't that why?
A voluptuous spaceship. It could be a voluptuous spaceship.
That sort of makes sense. Isn't the concept
Sexy,
of the
voluptuous ship? That featured in the closing ceremony. Did you see the golden figure originally before Tom Cruise sailed down? Did you see the incredibly golden figure drop down onto the map of the world?
Interesting. I didn't see that.
That was supposed to represent the golden record and the Voyager spacecraft because France produced the golden record.
Interesting.
It was a throwback. It was a Baskin and Robbins flashback memory.
Yeah.
Because I only heard the commentary over the top. Is that's supposed to represent the golden record that was made in France and put on Voyager 1 in 1977? And I was like, fuck yeah, you're talking about language.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say something controversial here.
Yeah?
Are we spending too much money on sport in this country?
We might be. Clearly. We must be.
Clearly. We must be. How's our space program going? Not great, but did you see how many Olympic gold medals we got?
Well, if you get them in young, you don't have to pay them much. So
I think we've been on a pathway. I think Australia has slowly been manipulating the Olympics to their own gain and to the detriment of other countries. Now, I'll give you an example, right?
Not the breaking.
There's someone on the committee. There's someone out there selecting sports, not breakdancing, who's getting the countries like Australia who are good at those sort of sports. Now, I'll explain because those words that just came out of my mouth don't actually count as a real sentence.
Yeah, we need more iterations of this.
Of the
Not just
swimming.
50, 100, 200, 400. We need 50.
Backstroke, then freestyle. Like
Yeah,
you have to
couple-
do one stroke
yep,
of backstroke
yep.
and then 2 of a forward crawl.
Yep. With some starting with a belly flop. You say, I'm the fastest over 50 meters with a belly flop entry.
Yeah, belly flop entries, different ones. We need to be pushing for this so that we can get more gold medals. We'd probably win the whole thing.
I think we could win the Olympics one day. You know, in
Really?
2032. Because how I
Do you
said
reckon we can win?
well, we've
the
almost finished
Olympics?
third. I reckon we could. I'm going to
Do
go
you
out
think
there
we're
and say
on
it.
a premiership
Trajectory.
run right now? Like, do you think the window's open for Brisbane
The
2032?
window is massively open.
Is it?
Because we've already got, first we've got a 14-year-old skateboarder that just won. She'll be
Right.
22. She's primed. I mean, lock the skateboarding medal
Won't
away.
there be a 14-year-old who'd be just as good as her
no,
when she was
she's
14 who will
she's
take home
gonna
gold?
somehow get better. Raygun, as we said, will be 44. That's coming into your prime for something like this. It's an artistic sport. She'll have more. She's got the
Experience
PhD.
pays.
She's got the
Experience
PhD.
pays. Yeah.
So once she gets a little bit more experience,
Fully supportive of that. The United States got 126 overall medals.
selfish. Are they over-indexing on sports spend?
100%, obviously. They also have 10 times our population.
Do you know who's not over-indexing? Is India. Because if you go to gold medals per capita, they were last with 1 gold per. Let me get this right. 1 gold per 234 million people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've got a pretty sick idea, actually, coming into the next Olympics for Australia, if we're serious about doubling our medal count,
Yep, go on.
is we do a big bluff. Like China does. You mess with you fudge the statistics that you release. So you say that we're having a military spend of 3% GDP, X amount of dollars, but you divert that secretly. So
Into
on the face of it,
sporting.
into sport
Or into
And then-
doping. Are you talking doping or sport?
Or just sport. We can think about doping.
I was
if we
thinking
need
about,
to.
well, there's a lot of
No, but
military
then,
money
then,
there, isn't
then
there?
we just blow up. We have blow up tanks, blow up. We don't actually have the submarines. We just pretend we have the
they
the
just
weapons.
look good on satellite imagery. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, you're funneling money into the IOC to get sports recognised that Australians are good at.
Oh,
What
of course.
sports are Australians good at? Maybe get the darts involved.
Pickleball. Pickleball
I've
is the
never heard of
fastest
that.
growing sport in the world and has been for a couple of years.
But we
my
need
friend
sports
is
that Australians are good at.
No, my friend's a pickleballer. Apparently, we're quite good. Do you remember that diver, Matthew Mitchum?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar to me. He competed in the Beijing 2008 games, and China had won every gold medal available in diving, and this was the last diving event. I think it was the 3 meter, and down to his last dive, he needed the best recorded dive in history to win,
Unbelievable.
and he did it.
Did he though?
He did. He pulled
No,
off
but did he, though?
the highest difficulty dive in the sort of.
But it's a sport
and he
that gets
nailed it.
judged.
Yeah, he did it. He got judged. He was judged.
I get it.
The first round, he survived, and everyone was quite impressed.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a 2-minute round. And then in the second round, he managed to latch on to one of them and put him in a pretty vicious guillotine, and he put him out pretty quick. The other two were just wailing on him because once
He actually put him out.
Put him out, and he's on top of him, and then the umps have to try and get in there and extract this lifeless body from this lump of people.
280 pound. Yeah. Like I just said, Anderson Silva versus 10 people is not a fair fight. In the 10 people in favor of them, it's not a fair fight.
Doesn't
so it does
everyone just
depend on
take a
skill.
limb? Don't you
It's
all
got to
just
be
pile
skill
on?
level.
Yeah. Doesn't the first guy just run straight at him, cop a front kick to the face? But then
Dead.
the second guy is right in. Because you see how these 3 guys attack this big
Your
guy.
best chance
they jump
to
on him
win-
like a pack of dogs.
Your best chance is that he falls over on one of the corpses he just made.
I reckon 10 of our mates
Mm-hmm.
could take Anderson Silva.
You reckon if you picked the top 10?
Yeah, no, you'd be in there. Just 10 of
I'm
us.
in?
10 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in. I reckon
All
I
right,
could have
I'll
a
grab his
lineup.
leg.
I've got a super
And-
cheap auto fact of the day. Simon and Garfunkel were originally called Tom and Jerry.
Well, we can all figure that one out. It's good that they changed it out. Simon Garfunkel, iconic. Tom and Jerry. Who the fuck knows who Tom and Jerry are anymore?
Well, Tom and Jerry were originally called Jasper and Jinx.
Oh, well, you didn't say you were going to give 2 super cheap auto facts.